all walking up. They're all walking up. They're all walking up.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Are you ready? We're ready. We're going live.
Yeah, Captain first. Captain.
Well, I thought someone was going to start it out.
Captain can introduce you.
Okay, we got an LA County Captain. Go. Go, go, go. Go, go.
Hey, good evening. My name is Captain Chris Reed from the LA County Fire Department. We're here right now at the Creek Fire, and our first speaker today is going to be Supervisor Barger from our 5th District.
Thank you. As we all know, this fire started about 3:42 this morning, and I have been in contact with Chief Darrell Osby from LA County, keeping close contact. Support efforts for the fire are from the fire department, both LA County, LA City, as well as CAL FIRE. We're working as a unified command, and went up and toured Cagle Canyon. I cannot emphasize the need to evacuate. If not for yourself, but for the safety of our first responders who are going up into these canyons trying to prevent homes and structures from getting lost. We've had at least 4 up there that I saw, and there are people still up in Cagle Canyon. It's important that you heed the advice to evacuate. Please, please. It is something that the County of Los Angeles right now has declared a state of emergency, and I understand that LA City is going to do the same.
Done it.
LA City declared a state of emergency. This is important not only for resources, but also from the standpoint of getting more support down here. We will continue to give you updates. It's important for us to let you know so that you can let the people know. And please, again, heed the warning to evacuate. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mayor Eric Garcetti with LA City, who will give you an update as it relates to LA City. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. As Supervisor Barger mentioned, we have declared a state of emergency in the city of Los Angeles as well. I signed that a few minutes ago. I'm here with Councilwoman Rodriguez. We've been on site for most of this day. We have 11,000-acre fire right now, still at 0 containment. We have about 800 firefighters in the Joint and Unified Command here fighting the fire. We're seeing spot fires pop up in different places, and some really marvelous work out there from our firefighters have mostly addressed those. We've lost probably more than 30 structures so far. So we want to be really clear with folks. We have lost structures. We have not lost lives. Do not wait. Leave your homes. We now have evacuation that is more than before. Remember, before it was Foothill Boulevard, everything north, from Glen Oaks on one side all the way to the county border. We now have additional, as we see the fire swept south here around the Hanson Dam area. So if you come down to the southeast along Glen Oaks to Tuxford and up Sunland, everybody north of that should evacuate. We estimate this to be about 150,000 residents that are affected. History shows us about 10% of those will need shelter. We have at least 12,000 beds or places ready and available, and we'll make sure that we have enough for everybody. But it's a time to check in with friends, with relatives, make sure you have a place. We'll be checking in, every 6 hours or so, but do not expect to go back tonight. Councilwoman Rodriguez will have some more details about where those are, what to do with some of the animals that are up here that have been taken care of. We have 2 firefighter injuries, but those firefighters are being treated. And we do expect at this hour the wind to shift back to the west as we've seen it come to the east. But we are erring on a side of abundance of caution for those evacuations because this wind could pick up and go a different direction. So if you're asking, hey, isn't it going west? Why are they evacuating me from the east? We simply don't know what this fire will do. To put this in perspective, it's already bigger than the Latuna Canyon fire in 12 hours. We expect to be out here all week fighting and containing this fire. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. The Sunland Senior Center has been closed for evacuation because of the evacuation area. So we have relocated that evacuation center to Brantford Park in Arleta, which is where we're directing people to go, as well as Sylmar Recreation Center is still available. For those with equine and large animals, Hanson Dam Equestrian Center is already at capacity. We also have full capacity reached at Pierce College. So the next opportunity for equine evacuation is going to be the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds in Lancaster. We are asking everybody to please stay alert to some of the evacuation orders that continue to come because, again, There's a lot of moving parts with the wind here, and we need to make sure that everybody is helping to cooperate with our LA Fire and Police Department personnel in order to assure everyone's safe evacuation of the area. So again, for those evacuation areas, it's very important, and also for the parents of children at LA Unified Schools, we ask that you please look at lausd.net for further instructions and updates about what tomorrow is going to look like for schools in the area. Thank you.
Ralph Terrasas, our LA Fire Chief of the city, will come forward next.
Thank you, Mayor. As we said this morning, we've done this before. The footprint for our unified command was established at the Latuna fire, and here we are doing it again. The difference is that there's multiple large fires in the region. Not only this one, but we have the one in Ventura as well as the Rye fire. LA City firefighters, men and women, are deployed in Ventura. We sent a strike team last night to assist with that effort. Currently, we do have approximately 300 firefighters from our department fighting this fire. We do have 8 helicopters between the city and the county aggressively defending houses. Our fixed wing are unable to fly because of the extreme wind. As you can feel as we speak, the sustained wind is about 25 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 miles per hour, and in some cases even faster than that. The residents of the city of Los Angeles and other hillside areas, brush areas, be looking for the red flag no parking restriction program. We're assessing that. If we activate that, we want you to continue to keep the road clear. We need to get our fire engines up those narrow roads, and that will greatly assist us. This is a multi-day weather event projected to last until Friday. This has only just begun, so you have to be constantly vigilant about if anybody sees any fires, please dial 911 so we can get an early start in dispatching resources to that location. Now I'd like to turn it over to my counterpart with the county, Chief Osby.
Darrell Osby, Fire Chief of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, and I would like to thank the Honorable Supervisor Barger, Mayor Garcetti, and my esteemed partner from LA City. And just to reemphasize, this fire did start this morning. We're happy to say that we've had 2 firefighter injuries, but they're doing fine. As of today, we have no reports of any civilian fatalities or injuries, which speaks to the fact that people are evacuating. As articulated earlier, we're having extremely erratic winds and fire behavior. So for people that live in fire-prone areas, they need to be cognizant of that at all times as it relates to their safety. And if they see something, that we ask you to immediately dial 911. As mentioned earlier, we've lost approximately 30 homes in this incident. Approximately 20 of those homes were in Little Tujunga Canyon, Cago Canyon, and Lopez Canyon. Our firefighters are still committed to fighting the fire, so we're still trying to do a damage assessment to get an accurate number and damage as it relates to those damaged structures. As a quick update, we're also committed to the Rye incident. That incident occurred in LA County and Santa Clarita. That fire started at 9:33 this morning. Currently, we have over 500 personnel on that incident. We're in unified command with Los Angeles County Fire Department and Ventura County Fire Department. At this time, we have 50 engines on the incident. It's estimated that the incident is at 5,000 acres with 5% containment. We have evacuation centers at Valencia High School and College of the Canyons. We have mandatory evacuations at West Ridge Community, which is about 1,300 homes. At one point, Interstate 5 freeway was closed, but the freeway has been reopened at this time for traffic. So in conclusion, I just want to really thank my counterpart here from LA City, Chief Terrasas. We're talking about this particular incident and the Rye incident, but we are also supporting the incident in Ventura County. So your firefighters here in this region are ferociously trying to do all that they can to protect life and property. So at this time, I would like to turn this over to Chief John Sherman of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Good afternoon. My counterpart with the sheriff's here, and I'll talk a little bit about traffic and security for the evacuated areas. First, about traffic. We have obviously a significant closure along the 210 freeway. The evacuation areas on the west are just shy of the 514 interchange at about Telfair on the west, all the way over to Lowell on the east, and the 210 freeway to the north, or Foothill to the north. That's a larger evacuation area. We also have Sunland and Latuna Canyon and Wentworth here, the pocket that came around Hanson Dam, like the mayor mentioned. Those areas are evacuation areas. Those are mandatory evacuations. The traffic in those areas are closed to all people. Even if you live in the area, it's a hard closure. You cannot go back into the area. We have traffic control points all along the 210 freeway, and as well as the streets leading up to the big canyons on the south end, down around Burbank and the city of Los Angeles on this side. Our request is that all people that have been evacuated to stay out of the area. It's going to be huge traffic congestion. We expect the 210 freeway to remain closed for an extended period of time, certainly over the next 12 hours and into tomorrow morning at least. So we're asking that everybody remain out of the area and not try to come back to their homes. They will be turned away because it is a hard closure due to the danger and the risk that is faced by people that return to that area. So we need everybody to pay attention to that traffic need. Relative to the evacuations that I mentioned, we have police officers. We have about 280 police officers working today with our sheriff counterparts that are providing security in those closed off areas. So the people that are evacuated can rest assured that there'll be police in the area monitoring their homes. We have 11 evacuation centers presently that will likely be growing, but we have 11 evacuation centers throughout the greater San Fernando Valley area for the people that are being evacuated from this fire. So our hope is that people will find other places to stay because these closures will remain in effect until tomorrow. Captain.
Sir, the only thing, Captain Andy Rosso from the Sheriff's Department, the only thing I'd like to reemphasize what the chief said. If you don't belong in the area here, stay out. The roads are closed, and in the unincorporated areas from Big Tujunga Canyon to the west, all the unincorporated area canyon roads are shut down, and do not go in that area if you do not belong there. If you're a resident, you're still not allowed in those areas. Thank you.
There's one other thing I would like to add is we have a pre-designated list of about 300 homes where people have limited mobility. We've already evacuated a number of them, and we are working with the fire department and rescue ambulances to go in and door knock each of those homes to make sure those people have either already evacuated or have the ability to get out this evening. And we're in the process of doing that right now.
We have one more.
Excuse me.
Thank you. We'd also like to add Board Member Gomez from LAUSD talk about the school closures.
Hi everyone, my name is Board Member Kelly Gomez. I am the LAUSD representative for the East San Fernando Valley. And while we had shelter in place and no closures today, we will have a number of school closures tomorrow. So I just wanted to provide you that list. Mount Gleason Middle School, Verdugo Hills High School, Apperson Elementary School, Mountain View Elementary School, Pinewood Early Education Center, Pinewood Elementary School, Stonehurst Elementary School, the Clear Creek Outdoor Education Center, both Logan Elementary School and Heliotrope Elementary School, Brainerd Elementary School, Mount Lukens Continuation High School, Plainview Elementary School and Early Education Center, Sunland Elementary School. Sorry, I'll repeat the list one more time slower. The last three. The last three are Plainview Elementary School and Plainview Early Education Center and Sunland Elementary School. So those schools will all be closed tomorrow. The rest of the schools will be in operation as normal. We wanted to thank all of our school staff, our first responders for keeping our kids, families, and employees safe, and thoughts and prayers to all of our residents who are experiencing this fire crisis. Thank you.
bottom line, there will be police resources in the city of LA, I know on the county side with sheriffs too, for your home and your property. A lot of people don't want to leave because you're worried about looters and other things. We will have a very heavy presence, and rest assured, save your life. Everything else is replaceable. I know there's also, Chief Osby asked me to add, for the wildfire, there's also College of the Canyons, not just Valencia High School, that is open and available. I know we have some Spanish media and a request as well to say a couple words in Spanish. El incendio de Creek Fire aquí se ha extendido de manera significativa desde que nos reunimos esta mañana. Ahora cubre 11,000 acres. Hace unos momentos yo firmé una declaración de estado de emergencia y el condado también tiene esta declaración. Quisiera agradecer a los valientes hombres y mujeres trabajando duro para proteger nuestros hogares y nuestras vidas. Las órdenes de evacuación afectan más de 150,000 personas en la ciudad de Los Ángeles y el condado. Si usted está en una zona de evacuación, tiene que estar listo para irse y por favor cumpla con la orden. And I also want to just thank our state legislators who have been here, Senator Bob Hertzberg, Anthony Portantino. They've been in contact with the governor's office, and we expect the state declaration to follow shortly.
So with that, I think you've heard everything. Does anyone have any questions?
Is this now the biggest fire in LA history?
Because some of the acres are outside the city of LA, I'd have to find out which percentage. It is bigger than the La Tuna fire, which was the largest in 50 years in acres in LA City, but that was all contained primarily in LA City. So this is a larger fire. There may not be more acres in the city yet, and we hope it's not.
Maybe one of the fire folks can talk about the areas of the biggest concern right now, kind of moving forward into the evening hours.
I'll speak to that. The southern part of this fire, burning towards into the city. A few hours ago, I drove the perimeter, and we were looking on the western flank. Things are settling down a little bit. We're still not through with this event. That could change. On the eastern flank, that's where it's crossed the 210 freeway. There is more activity. We have lost some houses in there. The number is unknown at this time. We're dedicating all of our resources towards protecting property and making sure nobody gets hurt or killed. So tonight, we don't anticipate the weather to change much. Wind will be consistent. Humidity is still going to remain low. There'll be minimal overnight humidity recovery, and we anticipate similar weather conditions throughout the week. Our number one concern is the weather. If the weather breaks, we will get the upper hand. Until that happens, we're pretty much at the mercy of the weather.
And we're still around 11,000 acres?
Yes.
Correct. We're at 11,000 plus. We'll have a better number for you tomorrow.
What about extra resources or people coming in from out of state or out of the area?
We are working well with the state through my counterpart, Chief Osby, as well. We're utilizing the state master mutual aid system. CAL FIRE are responding as we speak. They're building a team. They'll assist our effort later tonight. The last option will be to look at other resources outside the city.
And I'm going to let Chief Osby touch on the fact that we've got another fire going on in the Santa Clarita Valley area, and let him elaborate on what is taking place up there as it relates to resources and tomorrow moving forward.
Okay. But in addition to what Chief Terrasa said, is that earlier when we had our briefing, we talked about zero containment. Our firefighters will be working around the clock tonight. And so when the winds die down a little bit, it'll give us an opportunity to try to start containment. So we'll have our firefighters up with hose lines and crews trying to increase containment for this fire tonight. In addition to Chief Terrasa's comments, we do have multiple fires in the region, and the state of California is divided into 6 regions. I'm the Region 1 coordinator as it relates to fires in this region. So we have local, state, and federal resources that are committed. I've also talked to the governor's office. Well, they're going to also provide resources from the state of California. We're also going to start getting resources from outside the state to help the firefight in Southern California, because not only do we have this fire here that we're speaking at this incident, we have the Rye fire, we have the incident in Ventura County, and we also have an incident in San Bernardino County. So we're all going to have to work together as incident commanders to prioritize the incidents, share our resources, and make sure that we have enough resources to protect our citizens and combat these fires.
Chief, when do you expect some of those resources from the state and as well from out of state to start arriving?
Right now, the resources that we have committed to this incident are working in a 24-hour operational period, so they'll be working all night. The resources that we requested from other parts of the state will be here in the morning to relieve some of those crews that will be working tonight.
And just how many people, just with this particular incident, are under mandatory evacuation?
We estimate about 150,000.
150?
Between 110 and 115,000.
All right, so with that, the next briefing is going to be tomorrow morning, and we will let you all know and advise you what time.
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow morning. So for now, we're going to let them go.
Do their thing?
Excuse me, yeah, do their thing. That's exactly right.
And
All right.
sorry, the 115,000, is that just for the creek fire or also Santa
The
Cruz?
creek, that's just the creek fire is 100. So as we know, the acreage in Ventura is more. That's about 27,000 people evacuated. The acreage here is less, but we're talking about a larger evacuation or a higher number of people. Between 110 is the low ball I've heard, as much as maybe 150,000 now when we look south to us. 150, not 115, 150.
If anything dramatic changes, will there be another update tonight?
If anything changes, we will definitely reach out and let you know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then as it relates to information, like when it, in terms of fire, you can go on LA County Fire. I'm sure LA City Fire also will have updates as well. And that's a good way for you to gather information between now and tomorrow morning. So I would encourage you all to do that.
And you can text 888-777 to sign up for Notify LA in the city of LA. We will push you information, and we are using technology to make sure people are informed even if they're not signed up. A lot of people got calls that we talked to when we were walking door to door, and we're going to try to use some of the federal technology to be able to push that out to people's cell phones in a geographic radius as often as we can.
Okay, with that, thank you all very much. Stay safe.